When they did this, they took half of my heart. They just don't know how they did my baby like this. How you do me? Why could you just do my baby like this? My baby didn't mean no harm to nobody.
Someone knows something and how she got left back here. They know how she got left back here. They know it. And I need for y'all to tell us because I want to know what happened to my little sister.
My baby. Her name was Beauty. Beauty can hear her out. Please, y'all, help us find who did this to my baby, y'all.
County police are investigating the death of a popular social media influencer. Beauty K. Couch was found dead Wednesday in a wooded area near her home in Austell.
Yeah, so police say that Couch's body was found near her burned out car. And as 11 Alive's Bobeth Yates found out, the family is asking the public to come forward to help figure out what went on here.
This is a video of her from just a few weeks earlier. She's on her skates, moving across the floor like the music is coming out of her instead of the speakers. She does a turn, catches herself, laughs at something off camera. For a second, she looks straight into the lens the way you do when you've forgotten anyone's even watching, and she just smiles. No reason, just happy. Almost 150,000 people followed that smile. They left comments saying she made them want to feel free again. They didn't know her. They just felt something when they watched her. Her name was Beauty Couch. And the people who knew her keep using the same word when they talk about her, like they planned it, but they didn't. They just all landed on the same truth. Lovable. She was lovable. 22 years old, raised in Austell, Georgia, a small enough place that everybody more or less knew everybody. She was studying child psychology because she wanted to spend her life helping kids who were hurting. She was already doing it, honestly working with young people through a youth center, waitressing on the side, running her own little business on top of all that. And then there was the skating. That was the part the internet fell in love with. She'd skated as a little girl, drifted away from it, and somewhere around her 20s picked it back up like it had been waiting for her the whole time. She joined a team, she started competing, she started winning. The videos went up and they kept going up, and people who'd never thought of themselves as graceful watched this girl glide and spin and do splits on wheels and thought, maybe I could feel that way too. She told an interviewer once that skating gave her a kind of peace she never expected to find. That interview ran 12 days before she died. Sit with that for a second. 12 days. But that's getting ahead of things. And this story doesn't deserve to be rushed. Because the most important thing about Beauty isn't how it ended. It's how full her life already was. School. 2 jobs. A business with her name on it. A community that adored her. A family biological and adopted. Brothers and sisters. A mother who would later stand in front of cameras and fall apart trying to describe what she'd lost. Hey, everyone, please like and subscribe before we continue. It genuinely helps these stories reach the people who need to hear them. Now let's get back to it. She had everything in front of her. That's what nobody could wrap their heads around afterward. Not how could this happen, but how could this happen to her? To someone who was so clearly, so visibly winning at the one thing everyone's just trying to do, being alive and being loved while you do it. She had the love part. That's what hurts. She just gave it to the wrong person. His name was Eugene Louis Jacques. He was 21. And here's the first strange thing. Almost nobody in her life had actually met him. Beauty was an open book online. She shared the skating, the wins, the lessons she was teaching, the way she talked about her own struggles, like she wanted to reach back and pull other people through the same door she'd come out of. But her relationship? That she kept somewhere else. Somewhere private. Somewhere none of the rest of us could see. Her family barely knew him. Her sister met him exactly one time. One time, and it was enough. She'd describe it later in the plainest possible terms that she shook his hand, said hello, made small talk, and underneath all of it, a single thought was running on a loop. He is not the right person for my baby sister. She couldn't explain it. There was nothing he did. He was polite. He was around. On paper, there was nothing to point at. That's the thing about the feelings that turn out to matter. Eugene was good to her. He was the one with the flowers, the one taking her out, the one making her laugh. Her sister even admitted it.
Guy that was buying her flowers and taking her out and, making her smile at one point. How did it get here? I just can't believe this.
There was a version of this man who showed up sweet, who made Beauty smile, who looked, from the outside, exactly like a young woman's first real love is supposed to look. That's what makes these stories so hard to see coming. It doesn't start with fear, it starts with flowers. The relationship was new. It hadn't been going long. And maybe that's part of why no alarms went off. There wasn't enough time yet for the cracks to show to anyone standing on the outside. The people who love you can only react to what they're allowed to see. And Beauty, like a lot of people in the early haze of something, was only letting them see the good parts. So when she made that post, if he wanted to, he would. Got these delivered to my job. Her family read it the same way you probably did a few minutes ago, as happiness. But think about who that post was really for. You don't announce that someone is treating you well unless, somewhere in you, you've started keeping score. You don't celebrate the good day unless you've started noticing the difference between the good days and the other ones. Nobody saw it that way then. There was no reason to. That post went up roughly 2 months before everything ended. Here is what we can say plainly, and then we'll slow back down. On the morning of the 23rd of August 2023, Beauty was seen for what would be the last time. By that afternoon, in a field off Joe Jerkins Boulevard in Austell, a fire was burning. And by the time it was all over, the only reason anyone ever found out what happened to her was because of a single, panicked mistake, a mistake made by the person who thought he could make her disappear. But to understand that, you have to understand how quiet those final weeks really were, because that's the part nobody talks about. There was no dramatic blow-up that everyone witnessed. No screaming match the neighbors could testify to. There was just a young woman living her loud and beautiful life out loud, and one relationship, sealed off in a back room where the cameras never went. What was happening in that back room? We will never fully know. And the not knowing is its own kind of cruelty, because it leaves the people who loved her to fill the silence with every version of it they can imagine. Her brother would later say something that has stayed with a lot of people. He said he felt like, in those last weeks, she had been trying to tell him something, trying to give him a sign, that she'd been reaching out in her own indirect way, and that he heard it, but he didn't hear it. Not all the way. He listened partially. He thought there'd be time. He has to carry that now. How many of us have done the same thing? Half listened to someone we love because the moment was busy, because we assumed the conversation would keep, because we genuinely believed there'd be a next time. For her brother, there wasn't. And that's a question this whole story keeps circling back to, never quite landing. What was she trying to say? What were the signs that everyone, in hindsight, can suddenly see the ones that were invisible while she was still here to give them? Let's go back to that morning, August 23rd. Around lunchtime, the Austell Fire Department got a call about a brush fire near the intersection of Joe Jerkins Boulevard and Landers Street. Routine on its face. Grass fires happen. Firefighters rolled out expecting to knock down some flames in a field. What they found was a car. In a ditch. Fully engulfed. They put it out. And the moment the smoke cleared, this stopped being a brush fire and started being something else entirely. Because cars don't catch fire in ditches by accident. And whoever put that car there had clearly wanted it gone. The vehicle was towed to a wrecker yard. Investigators pulled the VIN, the unique number stamped into every car, and traced it back to a home in the area. The car was registered to Beauty's adoptive father. When police reached the family, the picture got worse fast. Beauty hadn't been seen since the day before. They'd been trying to reach her. Nothing. No text back, no calls answered. And now her car was a burned-out shell in a ditch. She was officially missing. So the police went back to the field, to the wood line near where the car had been burning, and they searched. I'm going to be careful here, because she deserves that. Near the trees, they found her. She had been there, alone, for close to 24 hours. I want you to hold on to one detail, because it changes everything about how you understand the person who did this. Police later said something chilling in its simplicity. If that car had not been set on fire, if he had just left it, left everything, walked away clean, it could have been years before anyone found her. The field, the wood line, the distance from the road, she could have stayed lost for a long, long time. The fire was supposed to erase the trail. Instead, the fire was the trail. That's the part Beauty's mother could not get past. Her daughter was out there, and the only reason she was found, the only reason she could be brought home and grieved and buried, was that the person responsible got scared and lit a match he never should have lit. A mistake gave her back to her family. Sit with how dark that is. The carelessness that was meant to bury her is the same carelessness that saved her from being lost forever. When the news broke, Beauty's mother, Kimberly, did not hold anything back. And honestly, why would she? There's a clip of her, and you can hear her voice come apart in real time. She talks about her baby being a sweet girl, about how she never bothered anybody, about how she was a friend to everybody. And then she says the thing that lands like a fist, that someone knew. Someone knew for over 24 hours and said nothing, stayed quiet, let her lie out there in those woods while the family called and got no answer. She should have called me, Kimberly said about the silence. We would have gone to find my baby. That's a mother imagining a version of events where she got there in time. Every parent in this situation builds that version in their head. The one where the phone rings, the one where they get the warning, the one where they're not too late. She didn't get that version. Almost no one ever does. The community didn't wait for permission to grieve. Family and friends gathered out near the scene on Joe Jerkins Boulevard and left balloons and flowers right where she'd been found. There was a candlelight vigil at the restaurant and lounge where she used to waitress, the same room where, not long before, she'd been clocking shifts and chasing her future. People came. A lot of people. The same community she'd spent her whole short life showing up for showed up for her one last time. But while the candles were burning, something else was already in motion. Because the man her family barely knew was no longer in Georgia. By the time the family had a name to give the police, that name was already running. Eugene Jacques had left the state. He'd gone to Louisiana, specifically to Street Tammany Parish, a stretch of land about 20 minutes outside New Orleans. Far from Austell, far from anyone who knew Beauty, far from the field. But here's what he didn't account for. In 2023, you cannot simply drive away from a thing like this. The roads are watching. There are camera systems now, automatic license plate readers, one network called Flock, quietly logging vehicles as they pass, building a map of where a car has been and when. Cobb County had a warrant out for him. The U.S. Marshals got involved, and word went out to the sheriff's office down in Street, Tammany Parish, with everything they needed: his name, his photo, the car he was driving, a white Nissan Altima, and the plate number. A detective named Chance Cloud caught the case on the Louisiana end. He ran that plate through the Flock system, and the cameras gave him a pattern. The white Altima was moving through the same area, the Oak Harbor area, on a pretty consistent schedule, mostly afternoons. So on August 25th, 2 days after Beauty was found, Detective Cloud set up near Oak Harbor with his team and waited. And right around 4 in the afternoon, the white Nissan Altima came through. The detective confirmed the plate, waited for a traffic violation to give him a clean reason, and pulled the car over. There's body cam footage of this, and it's strange to watch because the man behind the wheel is calm, cooperative even. He gets out, he keeps talking, he's almost friendly. He doesn't look like someone 2 days removed from the worst thing a person can do. When the detective asks for his name, he gives one. Michael Waters. From Florida, 21 years old. License is at home, he says.
Top of your head and release your fingers. Walk backwards toward the sound of my voice. Keep walking backwards. Keep walking backwards. Walk backwards. taking your hands off the top of your head. Cross your ankles over each other. Left hand behind your back. Right hand behind your back. Put your palms together like you're praying. Palms together. Palms together. Stay right here for me. Don't move, okay? Clear your ball.
1431. We're code 4. You can lift the net. We're going to be at Oak Harbor and Landmark.
Mikhail Waters?
No.
No?
10-4. All units, 1064, 1064.
So the initial reason why I stopped you, one, you didn't use your turn signal until after you made the lane change back there when you were in lane.
1431. The tag is going to be Florida tag Juliet Tango Yankee Romeo 51.
Makes sense? You got to do it before you make the lane change.
10-4.
Okay, no big deal, man. No big deal.
What did you say your name was, sir?
Mikhail Waters.
Mikhail?
Yeah. Do you have anything else? Do you mind if I search you real quick? Okay. Yeah, what? Money in my pocket. Okay, I'm not concerned about your money, just anything that may hurt me or somebody else. Look, I'm gonna set your money right here for the time being, okay?
Do you have a driver's license, sir?
Not with me right now. I'm headed to the house to go get it.
Where's your house at?
Make sure drive.
All right.
My knees hurt. Can I go on the grass?
Yeah,
hang on one
as soon as he's done searching you, man, we'll help you out.
Sort it out, buddy. I'm sorry about that. No. You're good, man. You're good.
Yo, 114.
You got something in your pocket there, boy? No, sir.
Car 114.
No, it's a gum. It's like chewing gum.
BN18, one citation.
No.
10-4.
All right. Stand up, man, and you can come over here. All right.
16 and 24 at 40009 Coral Street, EMS around.
Mikhail,
Yes, sir.
do you have anything with your name on it?
Name on it?
Do you have anything, any form of identification?
All the way down. There you go, sir. Hey, look, put your legs spread out for me, bud. Cross your ankles over the top of each other like this.
He spells it out when asked. Mykal. Then he stumbles on it, spells it differently the second time, gives a date of birth, says he doesn't know his social security number, keeps insisting he didn't do anything wrong, that he made a wrong turn, that this is all a misunderstanding about a traffic ticket. But Detective Cloud runs the name. Michael Waters doesn't exist. There's no such person in the system matching what he's saying.
10-4.
Andy Jules is letting you use the car. Okay. Does anybody else drive the car besides you? This him. I'm saying. What happened? I'm trying to figure it all out, man. That's all. Just trying to sort it out.
You know your social?
No, sir. Did I do something wrong?
We'll explain it to you in a second. It's his name.
Mikhail and
Mikhail.
Mikhail Waters. What? We don't know. That's what I'm saying. Does anybody else drive that car
It's pretty
besides
close.
you? No, it's my brother.
He has information. I'll run him and pull a picture of him.
That's fine.
The date of birth, though, that he can't fake convincingly enough. Because the date of birth he gave matched exactly one real person, Eugene Louis Jacques. The detective comes back to the car and reads him his rights. And on the footage, you can hear the questions start to land harder. Why'd you lie about your name?
Nothing with a name and a picture on it. So we're taking your word for who you are.
I've
been handcuffed. I didn't do anything wrong. Well, that's what we're trying to sort out. You understand?
How do you spell your first name, man?
M-Y-K.
M-Y-K.
A-E-L.
A-E-L.
W-A-T-E-R-S.
Waters is your last name?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Spell your first name for me?
M-Y-K-A-E-L.
Okay. Do you know the last four of your social?
No, sir.
Okay. Where's your driver's license out of? Which state?
Florida.
Florida?
Do you know the number for it? Your driver's license number?
How old are you, man?
21.
21? All right.
Where were you born at?
There's a reason. Tell me the truth. And his answers get smaller and smaller. He was trying to get out of the traffic stop, he says. He didn't know there was a warrant. He didn't want trouble over an illegal turn. It doesn't hold. A man doesn't invent an entire fake identity to dodge a turning ticket. And eventually he stops. He drops the fake name. He admits who he is.
You lie about my name, man. You know that's illegal. Have you been read your Miranda rights yet? Okay, I'm going to read them to you real quick, all right? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to talk to an attorney prior to and before any questioning. If you're not afford to hire an attorney and want to be appointed to represent you, you can choose at any time not to answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand those rights?
Yes, sir. Can you make a phone call for me?
Sure. As long as you keep being cool, man, I'll do what I can to accommodate you. Why'd you lie about your name? There's a reason. Tell me the truth.
Tried to avoid getting caught.
Getting called for what?
I was just trying to get out of the situation, making that wrong turn.
What are you trying to avoid getting caught for?
He knows he's got a warrant out of Georgia already.
No, he doesn't.
I didn't know I had a warrant. I was trying to avoid getting in trouble for making that illegal turn. He said I was making the illegal turn as I was turning to the lane.
Why would you give a fake name to avoid getting out of a ticket?
I thought y'all maybe let me go.
Nah, that don't make no sense, man. You might get this from him real quick.
Eugene Louis Jacques was taken into custody on the 25th of August, 2023, and held in Louisiana to await extradition back to Georgia. He'd run all that way, and the road remembered every mile of it. He was charged initially with murder, arson, and aggravated assault.
Good. So you can get booked in our jail on your warrant, okay? Out of Georgia, all right? I know I said you can make a phone call. We talked to the detectives in Georgia who issued your warrant, and they want to seize your phone, so you're not going to be making any phone calls off of it, okay? When you get to our jail, there's a phone in the holding tank. You can make as many phone calls as you want from there, okay? All right. I appreciate you being cooperative, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. I'll send everything electronically. Thank you, man.
By the time it reached trial, that list had grown to 6 counts: malice murder, felony murder, aggravated assault, arson, concealing a death, and tampering with evidence. But here's the thing about the time in between. It was long, brutally long. Almost 3 years passed. 3 years of Beauty's family waking up to the same absence. 3 birthdays, 3 anniversaries of that August morning. 3 years of a courtroom date that kept sitting out there on the horizon, never quite arriving. Grief doesn't pause for the legal system. It just runs alongside it, mile after mile, while you wait for someone to officially say what your whole body has known since day one. And during all that waiting, the family kept asking the one question no arrest could answer. Why? Not who. They knew who. The question that kept them up was why. What could she have possibly done? What was happening between them, in that private room none of them were allowed into, that ended like this? What was the fight, the fear, the breaking point? Eugene never said, "That's not a small thing." In a lot of these cases, somewhere along the way, the truth leaks out: a confession, a motive, a story. Here, there was nothing. The prosecution never publicly confirmed a motive. He never offered one. He took whatever happened in those final hours and sealed it shut, the same way he'd sealed the relationship away from everyone who loved her. So the family was left to grieve around a hole shaped like an answer they'll never get. When the trial finally came, it landed in the Cobb County Courthouse in Marietta, Georgia. Jury selection started with 54 people in the pool, and they worked through all of them until a jury was set. And once the opening statements began, the two sides told the jury 2 completely different stories. The prosecution's story was built on the road and the signal. The license plate readers had tracked Eugene's movements through Austell on the day it happened. Cell phone data placed him in the same area where Beauty's body was found. And then there was a detail that's almost hard to believe. Roughly 190 feet from where the burned car was discovered, investigators found a traffic ticket. A ticket with Eugene's name on it, his driver's license number on it. 190 feet, right there, as if the day itself had refused to let him leave clean. The defense told a different story. They argued there was no DNA tying him to it. They argued police never seriously looked at anyone else. and they argued the ticket, the one with his name on it, lying near the scene, had been planted. That Eugene was only sitting in that chair because he'd had the bad luck of being her boyfriend. That was the case the jury had to weigh. Early in the trial, the medical examiner took the stand. Dr. Zua Ashraf had performed Beauty's autopsy on August 24th, the day after she was found. She was a forensic pathologist with years of experience and over 1,000 autopsies behind her, and she spoke in the careful, certain language that profession demands. I won't go into the details. They were entered into the record. They don't need to be entered into yours. But what mattered to the case was the conclusion on the death certificate. Cause of death: sharp force injuries. Manner of death: homicide. There was no ambiguity in those two lines. Whatever the defense wanted to argue about who, the what, was settled. This was not an accident. This was not a fire that got out of hand. A young woman with everything in front of her was taken deliberately, and then someone tried to burn the evidence of it away. By the time both sides rested, the jury had heard all of it. The cameras, the phone, the ticket 190 feet from the car, the detective who tracked a fake-named man through Louisiana, the medical examiner, the full shape of what the hours and days after her death had looked like. And Beauty's family had sat through every minute of it, every photograph, every argument, every clinical word. Nearly 3 years of waiting narrowed down to 12 people in a jury box. On the 22nd of May, 2026, that jury came back. The verdict form was passed up and read aloud, count by count. And every single count came back the same way. Guilty. That same day, and this almost never happens, the verdict and the sentencing landing on the same afternoon, the judge sentenced Eugene Louis Jacques to life without the possibility of parole, plus 20 years. He is not getting out, ever. Outside the courthouse, Beauty's mother spoke. And what she said was not triumph. It wasn't relief, even, not fully. It was something quieter and heavier than that. She said she'd wanted justice for her baby, and she got it. And now her daughter could rest, and she could rest too. That's what justice actually sounds like, when it finally comes. Not celebration, just a mother, exhausted all the way down to the bone, finally allowed to set part of the weight down. Her brother, the one who'd half listened, said he wanted Eugene to rot in a cell. Her sister, the one who'd looked at him once and known, said she wanted the death penalty. They each carried a different kind of anger, because they each carried a different kind of guilt. And in the middle of all of it, Kimberly said something that turned her grief into a purpose. She doesn't want this to just be a tragedy that happened to her family and then faded. She wants to build something in Beauty's name, a program, a space for young people to speak up when something in their life doesn't feel right. A place where the signs get said out loud before it's too late. Where a girl who feels that small, cold wrongness in her own relationship has somewhere to bring it. Where someone finally hears all the way. So let's go back to the beginning, because that's where the haunting part lives. If he wanted to, he would. That post, the flowers at her job, we read it, all of us, as a girl in love. And maybe in part it was, but look at it again now, knowing what you know. A young woman publicly noting the days she felt cared for. A young woman whose family hadn't really met the person she was sharing her private life with. A sister who shook a hand and felt the temperature drop. A brother who thought she was reaching for him and assumed he had time to reach back. None of those things, on their own, was proof of anything. That's the cruelty of it. The signs almost never arrive labeled. They come disguised as flowers, as privacy, as a feeling you can't justify, as a half-finished conversation you'll get back to later. Nobody around Beauty failed her out of carelessness. They failed to see it because it was built not to be seen. Kept in that back room, behind the smile, behind the skates, behind 150,000 strangers who only ever got the joy. She was born on the 23rd of April, 2001. She died on the 23rd of August, 2023. Born and gone on the same date, 22 years apart, with the whole rest of her life supposed to fit in between. She wanted to help children find peace. She found her own peace on a pair of skates. And she gave away kindness, by her own account, because of everything she'd already survived to get there. The internet still has the videos. You can still watch her glide across that floor and laugh at something off camera and look, for just a second, completely and totally free. That's how she should be remembered. Not as the field, not as the fire, as the smile. Rest easy, Beauty Couch. If you made it this far, thank you for sitting with her story the way she deserved to be sat with. Do something for me and for the next person who might need it. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because these stories only reach the people who need them when you help carry them. And in the comments, tell me where you're watching from. I genuinely read them, and it means more than you know to see this community spread across the world, all of us paying attention to lives that deserve to be paid attention to sooner. If something in your own life doesn't feel right, that quiet, cold feeling Beauty's sister had and couldn't explain, say it out loud. To someone, anyone. Don't half listen, and don't let yourself be half heard. I'll see you in the next one.